going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So of course, over the last couple of days, it seems like although the numbers have been dropping for the PC version for this game, that the hype is coming back, because ever since we got the official response, or should I say the statement from Scott Amos, basically teasing new things coming to the game, it has us all excited. But most importantly, Phil, who is of course one of the directors over at Crystal Dynamics, has been active on Reddit again, and today we got some information regarding basically being able to replay the story missions as a whole of the campaign, but most importantly the new Game Plus mode. And then I decided we'd tie this video into one because we got some really cool ideas. So it's kind of like a, I guess, half news video, and then we got half of the Avengers game show. So as always, any cool ideas that you guys have for this game, just leave the ideas in the comments below, and the ones that get the most thumbs up are the ones that get featured. And as always, let's try and crush 13 likes, and if you are new to the channel, go ahead and click that big red subscribe button below, because that, my friend, makes you a much better human being, and it has been scientifically proven. But all jokes aside, let's dive into this video. So I want to start off with what Phil said, and again, this is in the mythical lands of Reddit. So one thing that's safe to say we are all waiting for is the new Game Plus mode, and now knowing that of course they are looking into new skins as a whole. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out yesterday's video, but in a nutshell, basically I guess skins and models moving forward now as a whole, they're not just going to be recolors. So these guys are completely aware of this now, so fingers crossed we do see some really good ones. But that being said, someone posted this saying, why can't we replay the campaign? And it says, I paid for a mostly single player game. It may get better with time, but I keep coming back to the question, which is why lock us out of the only good content the game has to provide at the moment? It'd be great to have a new Game Plus or similar mode to carry your characters forward and still enjoy the campaign over again. Continuously sad there are so many walls with this game right now. Then Phil responded by saying, we are looking into that. That feedback was absolutely received. Now, although it's not confirming anything, I mean, first of all, when he is saying they're looking into that, I can only imagine that he's not just talking about adding the feature to just replay the campaign, but we're literally talking about a new Game Plus mode, right? It's something that I feel almost this game would have had if there weren't any bugs and glitches in this game, and there didn't need to be any patches in terms of at least the amount they've done since now, and of course when the game was launched. So I guess hypothetically speaking, it should have actually been here already typically. But that being said, we know we got a new patch next week. As I'm recording this, it's a Sunday, so from tomorrow onwards, basically I guess in the next 7 days, we're going to have a patch, right? And that's going to have the new content in the game. So with that in mind, I'd imagine after that they can probably then focus on the new Game Plus, because the campaign was really, I guess, intriguing for this game. And yes, this game is more of a multiplayer focused game in that perspective, so I know everyone has their own opinions on that, but nonetheless, a new Game Plus mode is something I really want. Although this doesn't actually say a date, unfortunately, I guess it's just nice to know they're looking into it nonetheless. Now, diving into the ideas that we got. Now, these are some really cool ones. If not, I guess I don't really want to say it because we've had some really cool ideas, but I'd like to actually say these are probably right up there with the best ideas we've had so far. Now, the first one I want to point out is that imagine if Thor could block those really annoying missiles using his hammer spin. It is a combo, but it would be really cool. Now, the reason I want to point this one out real quick is because yes, that would actually be really cool when it comes down to, I guess, character abilities, if I could possibly put it in that category. But what's interesting is if you go into the harm room, and I don't know how many of you have randomly come across this, but for instance, if you're let's say you're Captain America, right? You can actually basically kind of block the grenade that gets thrown at you by one of the aimbots by literally using your shield. So go ahead, mess around in the harm room and try and block it with the shield, and essentially you can kind of throw it back. So go ahead and try that out. I don't know if that is a glitch, but nonetheless, it's definitely a cool feature. Now, the second idea is a really cool one, and it's regarding the villain sectors, but this time it says, villain sectors with actual villains in unique locations. For example, in Mandarin in China, you got Red Skull in Germany, Morgan Le Fay in London, and Crimson Dynamo in Russia, etc. The reason I wanted to point this one out by Joseph is because it kind of ties into the next one, which is regarding more origin missions, and I feel like we have actually spoke about this at least in the past, or Super Duper has definitely made it into one of these episodes in the past. But I guess just picking out the key things here, he says like it would be fun to play as Captain America in the World War II fighting the Red Skull in Germany, or playing as Hulk for the first fight with Abomination in Harlem. And again, all of these solo missions essentially can have new villains for some of the characters, so the new villains can also be put in other missions such as villain sectors like Taskmaster, and essentially it would just be very much a way to add new villains and areas to the game, but in a unique kind of way. And I really think this is almost like, well, it's not an opportunity missed because this game is going to go on for so many years, right? There's so much stuff to implement, so it's definitely out there. I mean, it's definitely an opportunity not missed, but I feel definitely needs to be brought into the game soon when it comes down to locations and almost being able to use certain suits that these characters have in those locations, like Captain America's World War suit in, of course, you know, Germany, for example, fighting Red Skull. So I think that would be very, very cool. Now, the final idea is just regarding the co-op aspect almost, kind of, and solo to an extent. And what it says is, this person feels like this game would be really good with 5 to 6 players so that we can take advantage of all of the Avengers at once with all of our friends. So it's not just the Avengers with half of a team. And this person also says, that they have an idea of an MCU DLC where for each character you get a bundle of all MCU suits. For example, the bundle will have Cap suits from all the movies he's in, for example the first Avenger, Avengers 1 to 4, Winter Soldier and Civil War, and the same will be for Thor, Black Widow, Hulk and Iron Man. Again, MCU suits and skins, whatever you want to call them, at this moment in time, at least from what I've seen, are definitely one of those things that are in like the top 3 things to be added into the game. I mean, especially in terms of a DLC. There are so many, I guess, opportunities with this, but an MCU DLC would just really be the icing on the cake for me, if I have to be completely honest, and I think it would just make this game a lot more intriguing. And so far, like I said, although we've been seeing these numbers dropping, we've been seeing the negative reviews, we've been seeing the game still almost in poor condition, and then of course we all felt like, why aren't the devs actually acknowledging all of this? So now that we have the update from the devs, now that we know essentially there's going to be 3 updates in this month, and now going on the basis there are like, what, 3 weeks left of this month, so there's a lot of content coming our way. It's just how that is essentially going to be executed in the game, and whether or not people are going to be disappointed with that straight away, which fingers crossed they won't, but going on the basis it's like 3 updates essentially this month, there should be something for everyone, right? If that makes sense. So fingers crossed this does pull off in a good way, but we'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, I feel like a new game plus would definitely come, if not this month, and definitely next month at some point. I think it's a crucial thing at this moment in time. But DLC content is, of course, their vehicle at this moment for this game. That's what's going to be driving this game above and beyond. So hey, we'll have to wait and see what goes down, but leave all your thoughts on this stuff in the comments below. And that's going to wrap up this one here. So subscribe for more awesome content if you haven't already. If you missed the previous videos yesterday, we had big news for Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it also, well, we basically uploaded a video of the big changes that are coming to the game, all of the stuff regarding next week. So go ahead and check that out, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and adios amigos.